Welcome in, everyone. Episode number 2 of the 300 Section Sports Podcast. I am here today with my two great friends and co-hosts, Colin and Casey. How are we doing, y'all?
I'm doing great today. I'm excited.
Yeah?
Very tired, but I'm ready to talk some sports.
Yes, ready to talk some sports. We're excited. Today is Saturday, June 6th, 2026. We are recording a little bit early just because of some scheduling constraints that we have. This episode will still be out on Monday the 8th. And after that, we will continue with our normally scheduled Monday, recordings and posts. But with that being said, today we are really excited to review the Stanley Cup Finals, the NBA Finals, and give a fun segment previewing the upcoming World Cup. So we have seen game 2 of both the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals. So that's kind of where we are at in, the time of sports. Before we get into it, I want to give a quick plug to our Instagram, which is at 300 Section Sports Podcast, the same exact handle as our YouTube. So go ahead and check us out there. We have content posted all week long between episodes. So we are introducing a new little bit to our show starting this week, where we're each going to rotate giving a trivia question to the other two hosts of this show. So Colin, you're going to give us a trivia question today and see if Casey and I actually know ball or not.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think I got a fun one today. I went with World Cup trivia just because it's topical. I only get to see it every 4 years, so I'm excited. So what I got for you guys today is, what nation has never missed a single World Cup?
Never missed a single World Cup.
Only one nation has been in every single World Cup.
Oh shit.
Okay. Every single World Cup.
Oh, Casey's ready.
I'm not ready. I'm thinking about this really hard.
Quick firing. I don't care
I'm
if
gonna
I'm
go
wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna submit.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm ready. I have my answer.
All right, both ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to go one at a time? Casey
go
was
at the
ready
same time.
first, so I want to see what Casey has.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Brazil. Oh, you can't even see. I went with Brazil.
Brazil. I am answering Spain.
Well, I will say one of you is correct. So one of you will start with the lead on trivia for the podcast. And that's going to be Casey.
Oh!
Winningest World Cup team of all time, and the best way to win the World Cup is to be there. So
Yeah, exactly.
they do that better than anyone.
Hey, that's impressive, Casey.
Gracias.
Is that what they say there?
No.
I don't know if that's how you say thank you in Portuguese.
Yeah, it's not Portuguese.
All right, so that is our trivia question for this week. Casey is up 1-0 on all of us. Colin didn't really get a fair chance, but he'll get his get back
I'll catch
opportunity.
back up.
Yes, we're also introducing another random moment to our introduction, which is going to be a random sports pick of the week. So some of you may know that the Monaco Grand Prix is on Sunday, which is the most storied race in Formula One. Actually, at the time of this recording, qualifying just finished for that race. Obviously, by the time this podcast will be out, we will know who the winner is. But since we don't know yet, we're going to go ahead and predict who we think the winner will be. Who wants to kick us off?
Go to Casey.
Casey.
All right.
Who do you think is going to win the Monaco Grand Prix?
Max Verstappen. I think I'm gonna go with Verstappen because of how the course is set up. The lanes are very short, and I think Verstappen can manipulate his way to crossing the line. Gold.
Trying to bully Antonelli a little bit at pole position.
Hell,
Hey, his
heck
starts have been poor. You get a good start at Monaco, and you can win the whole thing. I don't think
Exactly.
that's crazy. Colin.
So obviously we got the question initially before qualifying. So I had to change my answer. I initially had Charles Leclerc written down. I was really confident he races really well at Monaco. He's starting fourth, I believe, so probably unlikely. I think I'm going to have to go Verstappen. I think it's a really tough course to drive. Antonelli's still young. We see him make mistakes. Mistakes at Monaco can put you in a wall. So I'm going to go with Verstappen. He's aggressive. I think Verstappen could put both of them in the wall, and Hamilton's going to drive right past him. But we'll see. I'm going to go with Verstappen if I had to pick.
Speaking of mistakes that put you in a wall, you just mentioned Leclerc. The reason he's not sitting on pole position, he was on a banger of a lap before he hit the wall at turn 15, 16, somewhere on the track. So, yeah, he's going to be starting fourth tomorrow. My pick is going to be, listen, guys, this is a Monaco Grand Prix. The real race is in qualifying. Kimi Antonelli is taking this pole position to victory. He has been lights out the entire season, leading the championship by a wide margin. George Russell's nowhere near contending him in the same machinery. I think Antonelli, as long as he gets off to a good start, is going to have a banger of a race and take it all the way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and stop boring everyone with stuff they didn't come here for. We are talking the Stanley Cup Final. The series is tied 1-1. By the time this episode is out, the Vegas Golden Knights will be hosting the Carolina Hurricanes for Game 4. Game 3 is tonight. Game 4 will be Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. In Game 1, the Golden Knights rallied down 2-0 to win the game 5-4, with the game-winning goal coming from Tomas Hertl at 16:36 in the third period. Then Carolina pulled Freddie Anderson trying to tie the game back up and were unable to. In Game 2, the Hurricanes were able to return the favor by rallying down 2-0. With 3 goals in a 5-minute span, they eventually won the game on the power play in overtime via face-off circle one-timer from Seth Jarvis, just beautifully placed past Carter Hart. So, guys, what are our takeaways from Stanley Cup Final Game 1 and 2?
Well,
I guess I'll start because Casey.
Oh, okay. All right.
Casey started for the other one for me. Oh, sorry. I got disoriented there. Yeah, I still think Carolina is the better team. I think Vegas has put up a lot of fight. They put up a lot more fight than I thought. I'm feeling bad about picking Anderson to win the Conn Smythe because he's given up a lot of goals, so it's looking unlikely. But yeah, I mean, I just think the Hurricanes are the better team. I don't believe in home ice advantage that much in Vegas. I don't think Vegas is a great home
Vegas
crowd.
gets rocking, I will say.
Yeah, Vegas gets rocking from tourists. Vegas is the only team I've seen their jersey. The other, an opposition team gets created and all their fans go and trade in their jersey. So,
Yeah.
The most Knights jerseys I've seen this year is in a pile outside Utah Stadium. So
it's really funny.
I'm not saying they don't like the team. Just I think there's a lot of tourists to Vegas, and if I was a Carolina fan and you told me, I can go see the Stanley Cup Finals and I can gamble on it in Vegas, I'm going to see my team. So I think if they can't defend at home, it gets dicey for them.
Yeah, Casey, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, well, watching minimal hockey, as you all know, I really believed in the fact that once you're up by 2 goals, I think you can just run away with it. But not this series. Definitely not this series. Go up by 2 and then lose.
Going up by 2 is a death sentence.
Well, literally, this is in the history of the Stanley Cup Final. This is the first series ever where the first 2 games were multi-goal comebacks.
That's a crazy stat, and something I want to see forward is I just want to see a team kind of just run away with it. When you get that lead, use that momentum to just finish the game. Even though it is really fun to watch a comeback, it would be great just to see one just flush the other one out.
Yeah, I disagree. I want to see close games all the way through Game 7, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, I mean this series has been absolute crack hockey as the term goes, especially in the final few minutes of the games. I think the question for a lot of people coming in is these teams are very defensively sound, but they have a lot of offensive, firepower, and the goalies have been on fire for each of the teams, coming into the series. Are they going to be able to maintain that? And the answer has been no. A lot of goals given up. It's made for a lot of really, really fun hockey, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes from here. So, the big question now, we saw in game 2, about midway through the first period, Brayden McNabb took an 87-mile-an-hour slap shot to the face. Immediately, he left the ice. It was reported he left the arena for the hospital right away. His status is going to be up in the air for the remainder of the series. If I had to take a guess, I don't think he's going to play again. He could. And if he does, I don't think he's going to be 100%. When you see a player go down like that, immediately grabbing their face and just get off the ice as fast as they possibly can, it's not a good look. And what do we think that this might mean for the Vegas Golden Knights going forward?
Well, I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm pretty unfamiliar with Brayden McNabb. I couldn't tell you much about him. I know. I mean, he's impactful clearly, but I just don't think that one player on a hockey team necessarily has to make or break the team. I mean, there are some players who have that effect, but they didn't lose Connor McDavid. They didn't lose that caliber of player, in my opinion. So I think you just need guys to step up, and Vegas just has to hope that some guys step up and fill that spot. But I think they can definitely still win the series.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing is I do agree that players need to step up. I disagree in that I think this is a major deal for Vegas. I think that this could potentially lose them the Stanley Cup Final. You look at Brayden McNabb, an original misfit, one of only 3 remaining on the team from that original 2017 year, and I think he brings a leadership presence to the locker room that is irreplaceable. Just again, being one of the original misfit players, and I think schematically, you look at Vegas has been rolling out 6 D-men going into every game of the playoffs so far, but really they're only playing a rotation of 5. And we saw when Brayden McNabb went down, they started playing 4 defensemen. They weren't playing a full 5 too much. And you look at the other defensemen on the team, Shea Theodore has been lights out defensively, but it's pretty clear, in my opinion, that Noah Hannafin is a little bit banged up. He doesn't look like 100% himself, and Noah Hannafin should be the top D-man on the team. So when you have him not playing to his highest level, Brayden McNabb is all of a sudden off the ice, and you're left with Shea Theodore as your best defenseman. I think it makes it very difficult to defend a Carolina offense that hasn't really gotten going as of yet, but can get going. We've seen the power play struggle for Carolina, but the power play gave them 2 goals at the end of game 2 to tie the series up. So I think the power play is finally getting going. And I think, that power play presence of Carolina at the end of that game is indicative of Brayden McNabb's presence on that team and what Vegas is losing and not having him.
Casey?
Yeah, just to add on, they were down without him, and they eventually got to tie it before overtime. So I don't think it's that big of a deal that he's out. I mean, like you were saying, he was
they weren't down without him.
Really?
They were up 1-0 when he went.
And then they were down after the
it was just it was very up and down. But I don't think it was because of McNabb that
I think this game, the team showed me they can still hang. I agree with you.
Right, exactly.
They can hang. Yeah.
That's.
I just think when you're looking at a 7-game series, if you're relying on a defense rotation of 4 players, once you get to game 6, game 7, they're gonna be tired and worn down.
Yeah, and Vegas needs to hopefully notice that. And like I said, some people need to step up and step into that rotation.
Yeah. All right. We've talked a little bit about this series, but I have a few things that I want to say about the Vegas Golden Knights here. They have come into the playoffs with more losses than wins. They were an underdog in the Western Conference Finals. They ended up sweeping the President's Trophy winning Colorado Avalanche. All right, I want to give you a list of teams who in the regular season had more wins than the Vegas Golden Knights. These teams being the Washington Capitals, Detroit Red Wings, Columbus Blue Jackets, New York Islanders, New Jersey Devils, Florida Panthers, and tied in number of wins is the San Jose Sharks. All of these teams missed the playoffs. The Washington Capitals had the same amount of points as the Vegas Golden Knights. They missed the playoffs in the East. The Vegas Golden Knights won the Pacific Division. They handled Utah after going down 2-1. Then they handled Anaheim. They made Colorado look like a bunch of beer league players. And now they're in the Stanley Cup Final. And they're tied 1-1 going home. I don't know what John Tortorella has done for this team, but as an avid Vegas Golden Knights hater, it's really infuriating to see a team that was this discombobulated during the regular season find it in the playoffs, and they're playing this well against a team that won out in a juggernaut of an Eastern Conference. I mean, look, you have not the greatest goaltending for Carolina. Their decor is incredible, and their offense is okay. So on paper, probably Vegas is just as good as them. But I think seeing a team do this poorly in the regular season and then they'll this light out in the playoffs is something that really, really annoys me. And I think my takeaway from it is that the NHL needs to go back to a 1-8 playoff format because I'm sorry, there's no reason that the Vegas Golden Knights should have a number 1 seed in their division going into this playoffs. I think that's ridiculous. But I want to know what you guys think.
Every team in the Pacific had the same opportunity to win it.
True.
And they did it. And then every team had the opportunity to beat them in a 7-game set, and they didn't.
True.
And if they win this, then Carolina had a chance to prove that the East was better this year, and they didn't. So, I mean,
it's just crazy to me. You look at the East, there are 2 teams, that being the Toronto Maple Leafs and the New York Rangers, who had less wins in regulation, or regulation and overtime combined, than the Vegas Golden Knights. 2 teams were worse in terms of wins than the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Vegas Golden Knights are competing for a Stanley Cup Final. That's unbelievable.
I mean, yeah, all those teams have more wins than them in the regular season, but they have more Stanley Cup wins than all those teams. So
that's true.
They got 1. The rest of those teams didn't even make it. So
that is very true. And speaking of Stanley Cup wins, before we move on to one more, topic of discussion in the NHL, I want to talk about a interesting call made by the referees in the end of the third period of game 2. So from the looks on the replay, Freddie Andersen never covered a puck that clearly crossed the goal line. The officials immediately blew it dead, no goal. The initial call appeared to be that Freddie Andersen had frozen the puck. Then the call switches to there was goaltender interference on the play. Then John Tortorella challenges in maybe one of the most egregious challenges I have seen in a long time. There was no evidence to suggest that they were going to overturn this call. However, I think the refs royally screwed up this call. I think Vegas was robbed of a chance to be leading at the end of game 2. They should have been up 3-2 in that moment. On the flip side, they go onto the penalty kill and end up giving up the lead. Carolina goes up 3-2. What are our thoughts on this call? Do we think the refs botched it? Did they make the right call?
It was a goal. Like, it was straight up. It was a goal. Like, I don't think there's any way around it. I told you guys when we were watching it, I had no audio, so I have no idea how they came to the decision they came to. But just from watching it, it was a goal. I don't understand. And I disagree with your take on challenging the call, simply because if you're going to have the argument that without McNabb, game 6 or 7 could get rough, that challenge gives you the opportunity to shorten the series. And if you're Vegas, you're now looking to shorten the series. So if you see a puck go in the net which we saw it go in the net. It never got covered. I didn't see any Vegas players run into Anderson and knock it out. So,
and here's the thing. If the puck is loose, you're allowed to whack your stick at the goalie to try to put it in the goal. That's not goaltender interference. It never has been. So if the explanation given to John Tortorella by the referee was we called it no goal because of goaltender interference, and you look down at the iPad and you see what was saw on the replay, and the referee has only told you, oh yeah, it is goaltender interference. We didn't blow it dead because the puck is covered. I can understand from that perspective why you would challenge that call. Given the fact that we know now that the referees have come to the conclusion that they blew it dead because they thought Anderson had covered the puck, I don't think that that is a logical challenge, given that the play was already dead, technically, by the time the puck crosses the goal line.
I just think the refs messed it up.
Oh, I agree with that. I just think the challenge is.
I know Casey picked the Knights, so if I were him, I'd be seething.
No, that's right. It's still Knights in 5.
They got the next 3, no doubts.
Exactly.
That's how I feel. I think I have Carolina in 5. So,
hey, Carolina in 7's looking like a great take right now after those first 2 games. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all you're going to be saying when Carolina wins the next 3 games.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's go ahead and move on now. Final little piece of hockey talk. A blockbuster news report came out the other day. Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman reports that Red Wings captain Dylan Larkin has requested a trade following rumors of animosity with management and continual shortcomings by the franchise on the ice. So I want to ask you guys, in a league where top line centermen are, at a premium right now just because of lack of depth across the league at the position, where do we think Dylan Larkin might end up? Colin?
Montreal.
That's great.
That's where he's gonna go. Montreal.
I think that might be where he ends up, like just point blank period. So yeah, I think that's a great take. Yeah. They're in need of a top line center that can fit that Marty St. Louis system.
I'm not even. I don't feel like I even need to explain it. Montreal. You saw what they did this playoffs. Like, why not?
Casey?
It's in the name. L.A. Larkin. He's going to the Kings, baby. You just lost Anze Kopitar, and you need the leadership that you'll get from Dylan Larkin. And I think the Kings should just go all in. And
you need the leadership.
Yes.
He's younger than Drew Doughty by a decade.
Okay. We all know he's really good, but I'm just bringing out another key piece that he will bring.
I changed my take. I think he's going to the Lightning.
I like that.
I changed my mind. He's actually going to the Lightning, and we're going to trade nothing for him. Cash considerations.
It's a favor from Steve Yzerman for setting him up, to fill the Yzer plan in Detroit.
$15 cash considerations, and we get Larkin. That's my offer.
Honestly, I know you're giving the homer take of the LA Kings. Honestly, I don't think that's that crazy of a take. I think the return for LA is going to have to be significant because they are going to have to battle their cap constraints in taking on Dylan Larkin's contract. So that's probably going to involve moving a veteran somewhere around the ice over to Detroit, maybe even a young player. I think they consider trading Quentin Byfield to Detroit. I think Detroit would maybe take that. So yeah, I don't think LA is a crazy take. My opinion is Dylan Larkin next season will be the top line centerman for the Minnesota Wild. We saw the Wild, make some strides against Dallas in the first round, and then they looked non-competitive against Colorado in that second round series. And I think the glaring reason for that is that they are not a threat in the middle of the ice. They have 3 lines worth of wingers who can compete at high levels in the NHL. But, when you're throwing out Joel Eriksson Ek to be, some nights your top line centerman, it's not going to be a sustainable offense. And I think Dylan Larkin is something that Minnesota really needs. Now, obviously, they are very much so fighting cap constraints. But I think if, Billy Guerin can make it work, he will make it work. And Dylan Larkin will be a member of the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Enough with the hockey talk. let's move over to the biggest event in all of sports. The FIFA World Cup returns to North America. It will be played in the United States, Mexico, and Canada this year. It was most recently played in 2022 in Qatar, with Argentina taking home the trophy. The tournament is going to kick off on June 11th, with Mexico playing South Africa in the group stage. So I know we're all really excited for the World Cup because it's this huge event, and we're going to get into a pretty fun game in just a moment. So before we get into that game, I want just a rapid fire answer. I don't want you to defend your answer because we're going to talk a lot about different World Cup teams. But who will win the 2026 World Cup? Go, Colin.
France. Seen enough.
It's upside down.
No, that's fine. Doesn't matter. France.
Casey?
Portugal.
Ooh, Portugal.
I like
all
that.
right. And I am going to say the consensus number one in the world, Spain, is taking it.
Boo, boo, no fun, boo.
All right, so that is just a quick, little rapid fire for everybody because we're going to play a fun game. And I want to throw it over to Colin now to explain the game that we're going to be playing heading into the World Cup.
Yeah, so what we're going to do here is we're going to draft the teams. We're going to do 16 rounds. So there's 3 of us. So that's all 48 teams will get picked. And then based on their results, we're going to keep score. We'll keep you guys updated on the score, maybe at the beginning of the episode. Maybe if we talk World Cup, we'll keep it there. But you'll get your 16 teams. Every win they get in the group stage will get you 3 points, just like it will for them. Any draws they get in the group stage will get you a point, just like it would for them. So we keep the lower nations a little competitive. And then going on from there, if they win in the round of 32, so they advance to the round of 16, you'll get 4 points. They advance to the quarterfinals, you'll get 5 points. They advance to the semis, you'll get 6. And then they go to the final, you'll get 7. And the champion will ultimately win you 8 more points. So if they go all the way through, that's 30 points plus whatever they got in the group. So a little bit of an incentive for picking the best team. Try to balance it out for the lower teams. And hopefully if you got a nation you support or something, we'll talk about it. We'll say something nice. And we're going to do our best because, we're not the biggest soccer fans over here, but it's growing. And hopefully one day, we'll be great. So.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really fun. I'm really excited to get into it. One thing that I want to mention, a prize. We want to do some sort of prize or punishment for it, but we haven't really been able to decide what we want to do. So we want to open it to the comment section or Instagram. Let us know what you think we should do for the winner or for the loser. But guys, you want to go ahead and get into this draft. We're going to decide the draft order for this snake draft of countries.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to share this here. All right, you guys can see this?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, perfect. So picking first overall in our draft is going to be
Oh, perfect.
Casey.
Awesome. I can't wait.
All right, Casey's going to pick first overall. Picking second overall between Colin and I will be
Oh, come on, bro. This is
me.
They're just pretty good though.
Yeah, I'm going back to back, I guess. But you're going back to back just way later on. But
Right, yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're all good.
yeah, I mean,
You have enough players to
the
pick.
top anyone could win.
All right, so the order for our draft is going to be Casey, followed by me, followed by Colin. So Casey, do you want to go ahead and get into your first overall pick here?
Well, with the first overall pick in the World Cup 300 section sports draft, Casey's going to go with none other than Portugal.
No way.
Oh my
dude,
God,
you're kidding
Are
me.
you trolling?
Dude, I was thinking they'd make it to the second round. I thought I was going to get to pick them with the third.
Ladies. Chill. I'm going with Portugal because they have a bunch of stars and they don't have to depend on just one single player. And I think the player to how do I say this?
To look out for.
Just be the best on the team is Bruno Fernandes.
I don't hate that.
I think that's the correct take. Yeah, I don't know if the correct take was taking Portugal first overall.
I will say, if you look at Portugal's path, I think Portugal has a very accessible path to the World Cup final. So
yeah, that is true. They are in a group with Colombia, Uzbekistan, and Dominican Republic of the Congo. So
yeah, I know
they do have a good.
Germany. France and Germany are projected to run into each other in like the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
and Portugal's going to be playing like the U.S. So
yeah. So I think they have a very favorable group stage. All right, so with my second overall pick now, I thought it was going to be an easy selection for me. I thought I was going to get the leftovers of whoever didn't go first overall. Now I have a decision to make. I am, quite honestly, tempted to spoil Colin's desires at third overall. However,
yeah,
I think
ruin my day. Spain, ruin my day.
I think I am going to go with the team that I think is the best in the tournament. Group stage doesn't necessarily matter for these teams, but Spain does have a considerably favorable group stage as compared to France. So I think that sets them up to definitely accumulate, maybe even 9 points through three wins in the group stage to start it off. Obviously, Lamine Yamal is the biggest player on this team. He's the biggest threat. He's going to be the X factor. Playing at Barcelona the past several years. He's already the best player at that, historic club. And I think that he's going to continue to be a really great player for Spain in this national tournament. So I'm going to take Spain second overall.
Yeah, I'm not going to put a lot of thought into it. I think that's a great pick. I'm going to go ahead and take France off the board here just because why wouldn't I? I don't want to explain to Ro why I didn't take them. When they're there at third. I didn't expect them to still be there at third. But, I mean, they have the reigning Ballon d'Or winner. They have Dembele. They have Mbappe, who could potentially be one of the best players in the world. They have Desiree Doué coming off the other wing. And that's just their starters. I mean, the deepest team in the World Cup, they have 75 French-born players who are playing for other countries in the World Cup. So if these are the top 26 that decided to stay with the country, I'm pretty happy with that. And then I roll back to 4, right?
That's right. It's a snake draft. Yep. So you'll pick next.
Sick. I'm going to take Argentina.
All right.
Solely for the reason that they're defending their title and they have the greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi. So I'm going to hope that they can still do it. I think Julian Alvarez is going to play really well up top. And if they get to the knockouts, which I think they're going to get to the knockouts, Emiliano Martinez is probably the best knockouts goalie we've seen, at least in international soccer. And I mean, now he just won with Aston Villa too. So I'm feeling good about him.
Yeah. So I think my next pick might be a little bit contentious for I think maybe Colin here, but I do think a team with Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham is not a team to be ignored. I think, Harry Kane has had struggles on the international stage, and I don't think that can be ignored either. But regardless, I am going to take England 5th overall as my second team. I think they have a very favorable group stage, pairing. They're going to be playing against Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. So, again, another opportunity for them to go 3-0 in the group stages. So, yeah, I'm going to be taking England 5th overall.
Yeah, I think they have I think they have an easy group. I think they have an easy path. So, I mean, I think this is one of the weaker England teams that we've seen, but I think they're going to do well regardless.
Casey, back to you.
All right, for my next pick, I am going to go with Morocco.
I like that.
And right. I choose Morocco because not only they have a really good player in Hakimi, but when I watched the last World Cup, their goalkeeper, Bruno.
Yeah, he played out of his mind.
Yeah, exactly. And no one expected it. So
Morocco's the only African team to reach the semifinals too. So
interesting. Yeah. And if they can beat Brazil in their in group stage, I think they're going. I think they're going pretty far.
I think Morocco can win that group. Like I think Morocco can win. I think I would pick Morocco to win that group over Brazil right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that pick.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick too.
And
All right, Casey, back to you for the 7th overall pick.
Yeah, for my next pick, I'm gonna go with Germany, just because they have a really good young group, and that's all I got for that one.
Yeah, I like Germany.
All right, Germany, you spoiled me. I wanted to take Germany next, but that's going to lead me to the next in my rankings. A little bit of a tougher group stage matchup for the team that I'm going to select here, but I think that they're, still clearly the favorite. There are a lot of people who are really in on this team, potentially making a deep run this year at the World Cup. And I think that the Netherlands could be a threat this year, so I'm going to select them 8th overall.
I'm conflicted.
What's mean?
Well, I'm gonna take 2 teams. I think I'm looking at one.
Well, I know you're taking 2 teams.
Well, I'm looking at what I want to do here. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take Belgium first.
That's a good pick.
I think they're playing in a pretty winnable group for them. We saw them thrash the United States earlier this year, so I mean, I like what they have, and then, I mean, I love what they have going on at Belgium, and then I guess I'm going to take them anyway. I'm going to take Brazil. I think Morocco is going to win that group, but I think the rest of the group is so bad. It's a guaranteed 6 points, and they'll get into the knockouts. And I think they could draw Morocco, and they could end up winning the group. So, I mean, it's Brazil. They're talented. I'm not worried about their talent. They have Carlo Ancelotti managing them now. That guy just wins Champions Leagues like it's nothing. So I don't know how he's going to do in the World Cup, but I mean, I like him better than what I'm looking at other than that.
Yeah, I think those are 2 really strong picks there. For me next, this will be the 11th overall pick. I'm going to take a team, Colin, you're a big Man City fan, with an international superstar from Norway, Erling Haaland. I will take Norway 11th overall. I think they have, a very tough group stage pairing with France. Regardless, even if they drop that game, I think that they very well could find themselves in the knockout stage and maybe not make a ton of noise. But if Haaland is playing some of the best soccer of his life, miracles can happen.
Dude, I can't find Norway on my list.
Well,
I don't know where this list is wrong.
They are, in fact.
They are. They're 25th. LOL. Yeah. I don't hate that pick. I think they're good. I think 25th is a weird ranking for them.
Yeah, I think 25th is quite low.
I mean, I'm looking at the teams ahead of them, though, and I kind of think the teams ahead of them are better than them. But I think Erling Haaland could do he could be Lewandowski at Poland level, where he's just banging in goals, and it really doesn't matter what else is happening.
Yeah. All right, Casey, back-to-back picks, 12 and 13.
All right, for my next pick, I'm going to go with Croatia.
Yeah, I like that. I was wondering how long they were going to sit there.
I'm going with Croatia because they're in a group with, I believe, England.
Right?
Not
they are in a group with
too fond of
Ghana
England
and Panama.
Everyone else, exactly. So, yeah, Croatia for that pick, and for my next pick. Ooh, this one's getting harder, guys. What the heck?
You think it's getting hard now?
Yeah.
Wait till it's your 48th pick, or I guess 48th pick will be easy for you. There'll be one team left, but
yeah.
I know I've joked about this team before going all the way, but I am gonna go with Cote d'Ivoire.
I think that's a reach
for my next pick.
Agree.
I think they have a pretty good team, and they just beat.
They did just beat France, but
France.
I mean, that whole team isn't there yet because they're coming off of Champions.
Yeah, but if they can beat Germany in the group stage, I think they can give me points. So,
they get you some points. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. I think there's just teams that are gonna go deeper in the knockouts left.
Yeah.
Well, with my next pick, I want to go back to a group that I dipped into earlier. I think one of these two teams, or I know one of these two teams, will make it to the knockout stage. So with that being said, I want to select that team to try and get as many points as possible. My next pick is going to be Senegal.
Yeah. Oh my God, I think Senegal is really good. Sorry.
Yeah,
He's a really good pick.
Sadio Mane. That's how you say that, yes?
Yeah, Sadio Mane.
Yeah. So
Sadio Mane.
obviously really great player, and I think that they might, it's a tough group with France and Norway, but one of Senegal and Norway is going to make it out, and I will have at least one of them.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm going back to back here. These might be like slightly like controversial picks, but I do think that there is something to be said about playing in front of your home fans, playing at home, getting that excitement. And I'm actually going to pick these teams in the order of how well I think they're going to do. So I'm going to pick Mexico first because I think playing in Mexico is going to be really tough for anyone. I think they love them down there in Mexico, so I think that's going to be rough for anyone.
I know they love them down there.
Well, yeah, I know they do too. But and then I'm going to take the U.S.
All right.
I mean, they're hosting most of the games. I think someone has to win that group. There's another team that I think is really, I think has a really good chance to win that group. If it's not them, I'm not going to speak on that because I hope they will fly their way back to me. But but yeah, I think those are two teams that because they're hosting, they got very favorable groups. And they're going to be playing in front of their home crowd. So I don't know how big the crowd's going to be for the U.S., but I know for Mexico it's going to be crazy. So I expect them to win that group.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try to take a stab at who I think, you think might also be able to win that group. And I'm going to take a selection of Turkey here.
Oh, dude, you're 2 for 2. God dang.
Yeah, they're Turkey's. That's what I was looking at. I think they're good.
Yeah, obviously X Factor player, midfielder from Inter Milan, Hakan Kalinalu. Is that how you say that, right?
Unfamiliar, but with Turkey, I'm thinking Arda Güler. I'm thinking those guys, but I mean, Turkey's good. They're a really good team.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick a team who I think will win that group, obviously I'm impartial to the United States, and I hope that they win that group, but I think Turkey very well could win that group. And
whoever wins between those two teams, like there'll be a winner in that game, and that team will win the group. I think the other teams are. I think it's the most even group. So I mean, if Australia won that group, I wouldn't be like blown away. But yeah, I think it's probably the U.S. or Turkey is who I'm really looking at in that group.
Mm-hmm. All right, Casey, back-to-back picks here.
All right, for my next pick, I'm going to go with Uruguay.
Oh, good pick.
They're just below the United States in the rankings, and I think they'll get second in their group stage behind Spain.
Yeah.
And for my next pick, I'll go with the team just under them in Japan.
Good pick.
So
yeah, good pick.
Those are my two.
All right. Well, you're making me make a quick decision. So with my next pick, I'm looking at a few teams here, and there are some groups that are significantly easier than others. And any group where a team is playing against Qatar is likely a free win, and likely by several goals. And that leads me to think that Switzerland has a very good chance of just outright winning their group. And so with my next pick, I'm going to go ahead and select Switzerland.
Yeah, I think I would be shocked to see Qatar pick up a point.
Yeah.
I think Switzerland's one of the better defensive teams. So that really made my decision for me because I'm looking at two teams here. So I'm going to take a team that kind of runs under the radar a lot of times, I feel like. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I'm going to take Colombia. Mm-hmm. I think they're a great defensive team. So especially if I'm looking for group stage points, worst case, I think they have a pretty tough group. I'm trying to remember which one they're in.
Colombia is in a group with Portugal. But Uzbekistan and the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
I think they can beat Uzbekistan and Congo. And then I think with Portugal, I think Portugal's really good. But if Colombia can stick around, I think that could go 0-0. Like, genuinely, I think they're that good defensively that they could keep it 0-0. And Portugal's not that good defensively, so I think they could maybe sneak a goal in there and get me a win. But I think that team will definitely qualify for the knockout stages. Like, I'm pretty confident in that. And then other than that, if this is the team, yeah, it is. Okay, so I think one of these two teams is going to win this group, so I'm going to go ahead and double back on it. I'm going to take South Korea. It's just a team that's gotten a lot better. Used to be Heung-min Son was like running things there, but I think the majority of their team is playing in European top 5 leagues now. So, I mean, someone between them and Mexico has to win it. And so if Mexico's home field doesn't come through how I think it does, I think South Korea is the most talented team there, probably.
Yeah. All right. I've went ahead and kind of backed myself into a strategy here. And I'm going to, use that strategy again in taking teams from the same group, assuming one or both of them will qualify for the knockout rounds. A team, an X Factor, Alphonso Davies, at Bayern, really great player. And the final host country to be selected for this World Cup, I'm going to be taking Canada.
They have them ranked really low, which I think is silly because I think Canada is really good, and I really like the coach they have there. I think Jesse Marsh, the U.S. guy, like the American guy. I think he's doing really good things over there, and I mean, I think Canada can compete. They're playing in Canada, so.
Right, exactly. All right, Casey?
All right. For my next pick, I am going to go with Iran. I'm going with Iran because I think they're going to get second in their group stage, and their ranking is not bad. They're 20th in the ranking, so that's who my pick is going to be.
Iran gets to play New Zealand, which is another team that I don't think is going to win a game. So I think you're at least looking at 3 points from Iran, and they were pretty tough in the group in 2022.
Although I do think they're going to have to play Belgium and Egypt, and I think those are two teams who could,
I would rather have Belgium and Egypt, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Damn, this is getting harder. All right. And looks like I'm gonna go with Egypt for my next pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I think it's a good pick. Yeah.
Someone's got to win that group, man.
I think it's gonna be exactly. It's gonna be between Egypt and Iran for a second. I think
someone's got to qualify. So I don't. Exactly. It will not be New Zealand. So someone's got to qualify.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. That leaves me with my next pick. And I think we're getting to a spot where we're kind of throwing darts, but a team that's, sticking out to me as a team that could potentially make some noise and, give the other teams besides Germany a run for their money in their group is going to be Ecuador. Do I keep sniping your picks from you?
Dude, I wanted Ecuador so bad. I thought about taking them last round.
Yeah, so you don't have them. I have Ecuador now, and I think that this is a really good pick at this point in the draft. I'm excited to have them this late.
That's so frustrating. Okay. Sorry, that's just really frustrating. Oh my god. Now I have to go back to the drawing board completely. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. And I guess this is one of the nice perks of picking at the turn. So I have Argentina, right? So I'm looking at their group. Someone else has to qualify from it. I'm looking at Algeria, I'm looking at Austria, and all three of these teams are going to get to play Jordan. I don't think Jordan's going to win a game. I think Jordan is another team that could potentially go 0-3 this World Cup. And a lot of third place teams are going to qualify, so that gives both these teams a chance, but one of them will definitely have to at second austria, not Australia. Sorry, they're right next to each other. I'm going to rip Austria. Oh my God, Austria off the board here at the same time as I take Algeria, because I think Algeria is actually one of the best African nations. They got a lot of that French talent that I was talking about before. I think Mahrez is still playing there, which is incredible that he's still going. And Austria is one of the better defensive teams in the tournament, in my opinion. So we'll see what they can do. But one of these teams has to make it out of the group.
Yeah, I think that's a really good pick. And a team that I want to take next, just because I think they do have a favorable group stage pairing. Like you said, it's going to be tough to play in Mexico. But with that being said, I do think that this team has a chance to win their other two games. So I'm going to go ahead and take Czechia with my next.
Good pick. I was looking at them. I considered, but I already have Mexico
Who is
and
it?
South Korea. I
Czechia.
think. Yeah, I have Mexico and South Korea, so I was like, ooh. Yeah.
You don't want to triple dip in the group.
I don't want Group A. I don't want 3 Group A teams. I'll triple dip when I have, I'm looking at Argentina as one of the teams that I'm triple dipping with. But,
Right.
But maybe not Mexico, South Korea, and Czechia, even though I think Czechia is really good. They could win that group.
Yeah. Casey, back-to-back picks here?
Yep. I'm going to go with Australia for my next pick.
Yeah,
All
good
right.
pick.
I think that group is just
It's a weak group. They could beat
Exactly.
us. They could beat Turkey, I think. So things could happen.
And for my next pick, looks like I'm just going to go with Paraguay.
That's a really good pick.
That's a good pick. I'm surprised they're still available this late.
Yeah. Because the same reason as Australia, like someone going to be.
I genuinely, that group with the United States is one of the few groups that I'm looking at all 4 teams, and if they won the group, not like they qualified. I think any of the teams there could qualify, obviously. But if they won the group, I wouldn't be shocked. I can see every single one of these teams drawing with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I was also looking at Paraguay, so I think this makes my next pick pretty easy. A team. They're in a rough group, but Alexander Isaac, striker for Liverpool. I think.
Oh my God, dude! Stop!
I think is going to be an X factor for Team Sweden, and I think gives them a chance to maybe rip off a few points in the group stage. So I'm going to go ahead and take Sweden.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, sure you are. Let me pull up the groups again. That's great. Awesome. I'm so happy for you, man.
Hey, that puts you back to back, so you can take 2 guys. There are 2 teams.
Literally.
I'm trying to see who's even left now because I was really just looking at them. I was staring down the barrel for no reason.
Dude, the amount of picks that I've sniped from Colin is generational in this draft.
Unbelievable. Okay, I'm gonna take a team because I think they're really fun. They play in a rough group, and I think they're already playing with house money. So they kind of have nothing to lose.
4 picks left, or 4 picks to you, Casey. Why are you surprised they're gonna go?
So I'm taking Bosnia.
No!
You thought Bosnia was gonna make it back to you?
I really wish they were gonna get to me about it. Like, damn.
Okay, and then and then another team that I think is really good. I can't believe this team is still here. They're not as good as they've been in years past, but this is one of the premier World Cup teams, in my opinion. This team just shows up to World Cups and they mess stuff up for other people. I'm gonna look at what group they're in because I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. Yeah, a group that I think they could do stuff in. I'm taking Ghana.
That's a good pick. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that
Which group is that in?
they're in the England-Croatia group. I think that Croatia team is old. I think Ghana could catch them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they get one bad day, I think Ghana can beat them. They could qualify out of that. I think they could qualify from 3rd place in that group.
Antoine Semenyo, he's on the team.
Yeah,
Man
love
City?
him. Good. So good.
Yeah.
But I think Ghana as a whole is really good. And they show up to World Cups, they find their way in the knockout stages, and they upset big teams. So I got to rock with someone. I'm rocking with them.
All right. Guys, we're getting to a point in the draft where, it's slim pickings left.
You're hoping they're going to throw a game.
This is a team that's in a really rough group, but there is one team that I think they're going to pick up 3 points against, and maybe you could find some miracle way to get a few more points. Go ahead and give me Scotland.
Yeah.
Damn, I have them highlighted.
Here's my worry for Scotland, though, that I will say I'll give to you in advance is they're going to have to play that Haiti game to open their tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So if they, don't settle in well, and Haiti could catch them, and then they have to play Morocco and Brazil. So it could be rough, but I think they should be able to beat Haiti. So that team a win could qualify you to the knockouts with 32 teams making.
Oh, it very well could. Yeah, with the expanded knockouts.
That could be a team that you're watching play in the knockouts. I don't think it's a crazy pick.
Yeah. Casey, back to back.
I am going with Saudi Arabia.
Good pick.
Only because I think they're gonna be Cape Verde in the group stage, so they can give me like 3 points.
They almost beat Argentina last year. So, or not last year, last
Mhm.
tournament. So
Mhm.
If you're getting 3 points, if you're getting 3 points from any team at this point in this draft, you're going to be really ecstatic about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, exactly. And for my next pick, shoot. God.
It's getting rough out here.
It really is. I'm gonna go with Uzbekistan.
All right.
Yeah, I guess why not, right?
Yeah. Good player and Abab Subek Fayoluyev.
How did you say that?
Shot up to 5.
See, I'm worried we only have like teams I think aren't going to qualify left. So,
yeah. Well, speaking of teams that probably aren't going to qualify, probably the worst team in their group. I'm going to go ahead and take Panama with my next pick.
I was looking at them. Mm-hmm. They're good. I mean, they're. I don't think they're terrible. What group are they in?
I just think they're probably the worst team in their group. They have a really rough group to play in, but they have the talent to maybe steal a point or two.
But I mean, you saw England in the Euros play really bad in the group stages before playing well. So if they play really bad in the group stages and they run into Panama could knock them down.
Yeah.
Oh man, who am I gonna take here? UOTD.
We're down to, after this pick will be 3 rounds left. So we're the final 10 teams of this draft.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna take teams, I guess, based on talent. I genuinely don't think this team will win a game, but I think they're one of the best teams left who I guess can qualify. Mm-hmm. Like if things go well for them, I'm gonna take Iraq.
Dude, that is a rough group, man.
Yeah, it's a rough group, but I mean, like, I don't know, dude. Like,
that's so fair though. Like everything.
Like Iraq is the most talented of the teams. They play in the worst group, but they're the best of the teams.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I that's like my thought. And then, like, this team is also in a terrible group. Like, I don't know if they can win a game here. I'm gonna take. I mean, they're in a weaker group, I guess. So I'll take South Africa. I'm taking 2 teams.
I was thinking South Africa too, so I like that. I'm
taking 2 teams for different reasons. One I think is in a weaker group, and the other one I think is the best of the teams I'm looking at right now.
We are at a point in the draft where you just got to throw darts at everything.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. My next pick, I am going to take, again, just looking at group pairings and possibly picking up a point or so. Give me the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
What group are they?
They are in a group with Portugal, Colombia, and Uzbekistan.
They could beat Uzbekistan, I guess. Like they could run it. They could do some stuff for you there. I think those other ones are pretty rough, but I mean, I did pick Iraq and France, Norway, and Senegal. So.
Look, like we said, it is what it is at this point. We're down to teams that very well, none of these teams could win.
I mean, some of these teams are going to pick up a point. So.
Yeah. Some of these teams will.
I'm just hoping I got the one.
Yeah. All right. I am going to go with Tunisia. Ranked 46th. Right?
Yeah.
I think they could get 1 point off of Japan, but not really. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Oh my god, dude! I have them. I have them from so long ago. LOL. I actually think that's a great pick. I didn't realize they were available.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then let's pick up New Zealand.
Oh, that was my next pick.
I think that's potentially like the worst team in here. Actually, like it's them or Qatar. I think. Like genuinely,
I think of the teams left with their group pairings, I think that they have a chance.
Yeah, I guess they have one of the better groups, but
steal a point from someone.
I don't know, dude. Iran got a point off the United States last tournament, so like that's a pretty rough group.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, so that puts me back picking here. Well, we already saw Saudi Arabia go off the board, so give me a team who I think could compete with them. Give me Cape Verde because I think that they have a chance to beat Saudi Arabia.
Oh my
You're
God.
not picking it again to the last pick.
I know, but I had a.
So these are my last two picks, right?
These are your
Pick
final
one
two
anyway.
picks, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pick one team because I said it when you picked Scotland. I can't believe they made it this far after that. I mean, they play Scotland first. They're not going to beat Morocco and Brazil, I don't think. But, I mean, they could catch Scotland off, I guess. Like, that's really what I'm hoping for at this point. And then this team I'm going to pick just because I like their story. Smallest team.
Wait, who did you pick? You didn't actually say the
I
team
picked
name.
Haiti. Sorry, I picked Haiti.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to go with Curacao. I mean, they're the smallest team country to ever make the World Cup. Most of their players are born in the Netherlands. Obviously, they don't play there. So, a little bit of a quality drop off. But, I mean, the Dutch went in the top 10. So why not take the Dutch extras with the last pick in the draft?
All right. We are looking at, in our opinion, apparently, two worst teams left in this draft. So I got to, this is leftovers here.
I know who you're taking.
I'm solely picking off of the fact that I think this team has the more favorable group stage matchup because neither of these teams are making out the group stage. Maybe I'll be lucky to get a single point from them. I will take Qatar with the second to last pick.
That's not who I thought you were taking.
That's how.
Is Jordan playing? Their group must be horrible. Oh, their group is pretty rough. I have all the other teams in my group. So.
Yeah.
I can get Jordan, guys.
With the final pick, Casey takes Jordan.
No one took LeBron. That's insane.
That ends the GOAT debate right there.
Yeah.
Literally.
All right. Well,
that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. Speaking of GOAT debate, we're going to get into the NBA in just a second. But let's go ahead and wrap up here. We are going to make a graphic to go on our Instagram. You guys can follow along. We will continually update you all on the standings here and the points. I think this was a really, really fun idea. Thank you to Colin for coming up with this. And I look forward to watching the World Cup with y'all. I think it's going to be really fun this year.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll be out of the country for a lot of it. So, but for like the most of the
best place to watch.
Yeah, it is probably. Except, yeah.
All right,
it'll be here.
That's true, but we're not going to the games anyways. All right, let's move on to the NBA to discuss real quick. The New York Knicks will be hosting the San Antonio Spurs for Game 3 of the NBA Finals on Monday night at 8:30 p.m. on ABC. They hold a 2-0 series lead over the Spurs. In Game 1, we saw a back and forth matchup with the Knicks pulling away at the very end following a sequence of Spurs miscues, a little bit of young player mess-ups. The Knicks won that game 105-95. And then very similarly, we had another back-and-forth game last night in Game 2. The Knicks barely squeaked this one out, though. It is their second road win of the finals. Stephon Castle miscue, wasn't ready for a pass, turns it over to Jalen Brunson, who's fouled, sent to the line, takes the lead, 105-104. Wemby has a chance to win the game, and as time expires, he misses a mid-range jump shot. The Knicks will head back to Madison Square Garden with a 2-0 series lead. Guys, what do we have to say about these first two games of the NBA Finals?
Fantastic basketball. I think they're letting them play. I think it's been physical, and that's the kind of basketball I like to see. I wish we saw it all year. Make the NBA a little bit more palatable. But whenever this is the product that the NBA is putting out, it's one of the premier sports in the world. It's a shame that we don't get this all the time, though.
Yeah, Casey?
Really nothing else to say about it. I think someone who's really surprising me through the start of the series is my boy Victor. And on paper he's doing well, but I don't know. I think he just needs that extra fire in him to change this game or change the series around to be able to win the whole thing.
Yeah, my takeaway has been these teams are so evenly matched. I think obviously the Knicks have a tad bit more experience, and I think that's been the difference to this point in this series. And And yeah, you already kind of answered my next question a little bit, Casey, but I'll throw it over to you, Colin. Who's a player that's really surprised you to this point in the series, either good or bad?
I went with Casey's best friend, Karl Anthony Towns. Just because, like, I thought that he would. I really thought he was going to get walked in this series, and I think he's really held his own. I think he's played well down in the paint. Yeah. And I think he's one of the, he's a big reason of where they are, because if Wemby was, shooting 70% on him, which is like kind of a fear that I had, was that at points Wemby is going to just be walking this guy down. The Spurs would be winning this series 2-0, but he's not doing that, and they're not. And I think Cat's a big part of that. So I was really shocked to see that.
Yeah, I think a player for me that's really surprised me, he hasn't been lighting up the point totals offensively, but defensively, Josh Hart has been incredibly sound for the Knicks, especially in game one. He was all over the paint, picking up rebounds, turnovers. I think Josh Hart has really been a difference maker kind of quietly in this series. He's not putting up 30-point games like Jalen Brunson is, but he's contributing to a team in a way that they really need it.
Yeah, I agree. When he's not getting into foul, he got into foul trouble.
Right.
The game got away from them. So I think that really says a lot about him, is when he had to go off the court, it looked like things were going to go poorly for them.
Right. So my next question for you guys. Only 5 times in NBA history has a team down 2-0 in the finals come back to win. No team in the history of the NBA finals to go down 2-0 with the first 2 games at home has ever won the NBA finals. What do the Spurs need to do to make history?
Casey, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. I just think the Spurs need a couple players to step up, like Castle and Champagne. And Champagne. Yeah, there we go. Other than that, it's really hard to see them come back from a 2-0 deficit.
Yeah, Colin, anything you think they can do?
Yeah, unfortunately, all I have written down for them is that they need to grow up and they need to do it fast. I just think this is a really immature basketball team, and it's showing that turnover from Wembanyama trying to get an outlet pass up to Castle, and Castle's not even looking back at his center who just got a rebound. I mean, you just can't have that. I think De'Aaron Fox has really been potentially their best guard in this series so far, and that's simply because he has the experience. He's used to these kind of moments. He knows he got a level head on him. Harper, I do think, is stepping up, but I think him and Castle have both stepped up, but also had moments where they've completely fallen apart in ways. So I just think they need to be more mentally tough, and unfortunately, it's starting to look like this is going to be the series that maybe lights the fire under Wemby, but it's going to be because he lost it.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's probably going to end up being that. My answer here is you got to go into New York and you got to steal 2 games. You cannot go back to San Antonio down 3-1. You hope you get the chance to go back to San Antonio even. I think getting swept is not the likely possibility, but a very realistic possibility at this point. So for the Spurs, I think the only way to win this is to go back to San Antonio in game 5, tied at 2 apiece. They cannot be down 3-1. They will not come back from down 3-1. 2 crucial games on the road in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the Knicks here, because everyone wants to talk about the Spurs and their shortcomings, but I think the Knicks really need to get their flowers for playing so well in these first 2 games. So my question for y'all is, right now, who would you say is the leading contender for Finals MVP, Jalen Brunson or Karl Anthony Towns? Casey.
My best friend, Cat. We talk about Wemby a lot, and the way he's been able to handle him these first 2 games is just very impressive to me. Like, sorry for my bad takes on Mr. Karl Anthony Towns, the first podcast, but yeah, he's just, besides Victor being surprisingly not surprisingly bad, but you guys know what I mean. Like, Cat's just been like way opposite of that.
Yeah, he's been uncharacteristic, and
Yeah.
Cat has played really well. Grady,
Colin?
no,
Oh, yeah,
I
I
was gonna bring it to you.
Oh yeah. Well, last episode we had a question where I asked everyone if it's not Jalen Brunson, who's going to win MVP for the Knicks if they win the finals. And my answer in that segment was Karl Anthony Towns. And I think after 2 games, very realistically, the finals MVP could be Karl Anthony Towns. I think he's done an incredible job in locking down Wemby as much as possible. I think he's been a force offensively. He's been fighting through contact in nearly every single possession. I think he has played an incredible game, and you've seen very few shortcomings from Towns in this series, whereas you have seen Brunson slip up at several moments in the first 2 games.
Yeah, I put Brunson. I thought we were gonna to sweep here with Jalen Brunson, so I was kind of surprised to see both of you guys say Cat. Again, I don't want to diss Cat. I think he's played well. I think he's had a good series. But at the end of the day, final possession, Wemby has the ball. You look up, is Karl Anthony Towns the one guarding him? No, they subbed in Mitchell Robinson to do that, even though Karl Anthony Towns has done all this great stuff. I think Wemby's seeing a lot of double and triple teams. So even though Cat is the primary defender, I think that stat can be a little bit misleading. But when it comes down to it, the Knicks need to get going. The Knicks need this. The Knicks need that. Whatever the Knicks need, they're turning to one guy. They're turning to Brunson, and he's delivered. In game 1, he got banged up. He went out, and the Spurs kind of got ahead a little bit, and he comes back. He turns it on in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks go up 1-0. The Knicks kind of let it get away from them yesterday. They get Brunson the ball. He ends up hitting the game icing free throw. So. Yep. I think when push has come to shove, the ball's been in Brunson's hand. He's done well with it. He's been the leader of this team all season. And I think Wemby, being as good as he is, it makes it easy to lean toward Cat. But Brunson, I think, is that level of star in the league right now. And, I think he's shown up more than enough.
Yeah, I think the finals MVP isn't decided in the first 2 games. It's going to be decided in the back half of the series. That's all anyone's going to remember if this series becomes close again. And even if it is, potentially a sweep, I think people are going to look at games 3 and 4 in New York as opposed to games 1 and 2 on the road in San Antonio when they remember this Knicks team. So, yeah, I think it's, very much up in the air. I think either of these players could win it. It looks like Jalen Brunson is currently the favorite to still win it, but it is a close margin on most sites projecting it right now. And yeah, any other conversation about the NBA before we sign off for the
day? It's a shame. I think that I'm hoping Victor Wembanyama can at least pick up a few games, because I know that this will tarnish his legacy if he gets swept, the same way that, losing in 2007 as a 22-year-old has tarnished LeBron's legacy, because everyone's just going to look at it as a finals loss. But yeah, I talked to you guys yesterday. I think this is the new state of the NBA. If you were telling me 5 years ago that this Knicks team was going to be winning a championship, this core of players, as good as they are right now, 5 years ago, if this roster was playing against the or I guess that was be 2020. So we'll 10 years ago, actually. They were playing against the 2017 Warriors. They were wiped. It's not even close. I think the teams that were competing for championships back then were far and away better. But this is the parity of the league. So whether you like it or not, it's here. We gotta live with it. And this is what a championship caliber team looks like now. Stars taking cuts, and good things happen. So good for the Knicks.
Yeah, I agree, and I think a lot of people around the NBA share that sentiment and that same opinion. And whether you think it's good for the league or not, that is the state of the NBA right now. And the Knicks are, staring down that NBA Finals trophy. There is, Hey, I said Knicks in 7 to start. All y'all were on the Spurs. I was the only one to say the Knicks. They're looking good right about now. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this show up for the day. Thank you all so much for watching. All of us appreciate any viewership that you're giving us, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. We would very much So appreciate that. Make sure to stay tuned to our Instagram account.
Okay,
It is under the same name at it's other way.
Oh.
I'm looking at it. Why are you acting like it?
No, I can see it too. It's looking at this way.
Oh, it's on the other side for me. I don't know about
Yeah, it's on the other side for me too. Anyways, you can find us on Instagram at 300 Section Sports Podcast. It's the same handle as our YouTube for continued weekly content. We will continue to upload posts and reels, to try to keep everyone engaged. And we will be back. Our next scheduled episode will be next Monday, the 15th. So we look forward to seeing you all then. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you later.